And I wanted to open up this podcast a little differently today. This is how we're just going to go straight into it. Ryan doesn't. Ryan has no idea what's going on. Look at his face.
I,
Okay.
It,
I don't know.
yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Week 13, I guess. 12, something like that. I can never remember when puts these together. I'm your host, Will Glover, along with my host, Ryan Galloway. And today, we're doing the exact same thing as we've always been doing. And we're going to get right into it right now. We're going to talk about the rankings. The college football playoff rankings just came out. And once again, they're just as bad as they were the week before, as expected. Ryan, go ahead and you had a lot to say about this. So go ahead and start us off.
I mean, why is Ohio State number one, right? It doesn't make sense. Based upon everything that the playoff committee has said is valuable to them and important to them and goes most into their rankings, there's no reason that Georgia shouldn't be number one. They have a better strength of record. They have a better strength of schedule. More top 25 wins, they're a more complete team. They pass the eye test even more than Ohio State. So I don't understand why you put them at one in the first place, and I don't understand why they're at one after their performance against Rutgers. It doesn't make sense to me, and that is probably my biggest gripe. I'm not too concerned with Texas at 7 and Oregon at 6, because I feel like that's going to figure itself out, and we can't really be too upset about rankings 5 through 10 at this point in the season. But you better believe that I will have things to say about that if it remains the same in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you said so. ESPN's FPI has Ohio State at 1 for strength of record, but I don't know where they're getting that number from. They haven't, and they also have their game control at 3. I think that's stupid. I don't understand how they're getting these numbers. Obviously, Georgia's had a better, in a better conference with a better record, of course, in terms of just playing better teams. I mean, besides that, and also Florida State it should not be at 4. I'm sorry, I don't know why everyone's so high on Florida State. Nothing impresses me about that. It should be Georgia 1, Michigan 2 until they get kicked out. If they do, Ryan, do you think Michigan's gonna? Do you think this is gonna happen this year, or it's gonna be next year?
I think the most likely scenario is that it's going to happen next year or in the offseason, and I could very easily see Michigan having to vacate all their wins.
Would they?
So that would suck if they won the
Yeah, I'm
Natty.
about to say they have to vacate their national championship win if that's the case. Well, I don't think Michigan's going to win. I still think, I said Michigan was a better team, Georgia, but I still think Georgia has the edge. I don't know why. It's that gut feeling. It's that eye test thing you were talking about. I think Washington's a better team than Michigan. I think Texas is a better team than Michigan. And Alabama is a sleeper number 4 seed. Watch out for Bama. Bama's playing really well right now. If Bama wins the SEC championship game, they're going to the national championship personally. I think they'll slide in as a 3 seed and win and beat that 2-3 matchup. So look out for Alabama. Never underestimate Nick Saban. But yeah, besides that, I mean, there's nothing really else shocking out here. Iowa's ranked at 22. Maybe the worst offense we've ever seen in the history of college football is ranked at 22. That's terrible.
But how about that defense?
Defense is one of the best we've seen in college football history as well. Imagine if they had even a tenth of Texas's offense, how good they would be. They would be top 5 probably.
Oh, yeah.
But whatever. USC is out of the rankings finally. God bless. It's a great week. And USC made some coaching changes, didn't they?
They did. And I think, was it last week that I was going on my rant about Alex Grinch?
I think it was 2 weeks ago, but yeah.
Whatever it was. Yeah, well, they finally acted on it. Finally a good move from Lincoln Riley and USC. I don't even know if that necessarily came from Lincoln Riley. I feel like his hand had to be forced there because for whatever reason we know that he is in love with Alex Grinch. But I mean, Alex Grinch is a terrible coordinator, and some people might say, well, he can't. It's not all on him. The players, they're not tackling, whatever. No, the talent is on the field. The talent's fine. If you can't tackle, if you have poor coverage, poor rushing, all of that, that's coaching. At
Yep.
this point, you're
100%.
USC. You have the talent to put a good product on the field on both ends of the ball. If you don't, that is failure on the coaching staff. And I'm sorry, that's all it is.
Yeah, you're 100% right. It was all like when Texas and Tom Herman, that team was really good talent wise, but they couldn't do the little things. That's ultimately why Herman was kicked. So just things like that. I want to now move on. That was a good analysis on USC legend Alex Grinch, who had a job for longer than I could imagine anyone having a job besides the presidency. But we're not going to talk about that. Yeah, Ryan likes that one. We get a little edgy today, aren't we? Let's go, Brandon. Number 7, Texas at TCU. I think that's a trap game, personally. TCU is known for holding unnecessary grudges against teams they have no right to hold grudges against. I think Texas wins, but it's going to be closer than the line at 10. It's going to come down to a field goal.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see it being very close, especially if Malik Murphy's playing the way that he's been playing, which is evident talent, a few good plays a game, but overall being young and showing his lack of experience. I think the coaching edge goes to Texas. Sonny Dykes is an amazing coach. I mean, last year's run was nothing short of spectacular, and a lot of it had to do with him, especially right after he brought SMU back to national relevance, relatively.
Yep.
Yeah, TCU, not a lot of talent, not very good. They're a young team. They lost all of their team that they played last year. So I don't have any doubt that Texas wins, but, you're in Fort Worth. TCU really hates you for some reason. I could definitely see it being a lot closer than people might think.
Yeah, 100%. Texas line 10. Take TCU plus 10, guys. If you're betting, not Prize Picks like our buddy Evan. Don't do Prize Picks. All right, this is not sponsored. Another big game here. We got in University Park, Pennsylvania. We have number 3 Michigan versus number 10 Penn State. This is national title. This is a national championship game for Michigan, pretty much. They lose here, they're done. So, Ryan,
yeah.
Michigan's favored 4.5. Do you like that, or do you think Penn State has the edge here?
I'm going to take Penn State in this one. I like Penn State a lot. I think Drew Aller's a great quarterback. Penn State's a lot better than their loss to Ohio State. Right. They're a fantastic team. Michigan has yet to play anybody. This is the first. This Michigan season starts and might end this weekend.
Yeah.
But certainly starts this weekend because this is their first real opponent they've had to play. It does not get easier for them from here on out. You have the game coming up. And maybe they're looking ahead to that. So there's a lot of things that could go wrong here. And also, you may say, okay, Michigan, if they lose, it's just one game to a very good opponent. It's a good loss. The playoff committee is looking for any reason to keep Michigan out and not have to worry about that situation.
Yep, exactly.
I think a one-loss Michigan is done.
100%.
So yeah,
especially they won't go to the championship game. I mean, what happens? So if Michigan loses,
no, they wouldn't.
If Michigan loses, but they beat Ohio State, Penn State holds the tiebreaker, or no? What happens there? It's a 3-way tie for first.
I think it goes to Penn State.
So then Penn State would then, unless, who does Penn State have? Let's see, real quick. Let's see, Penn State has Michigan, Rutgers, and Michigan State. I mean, shoot. Because Michigan would have beaten Ohio State. Ohio State beat Penn State, but Penn State beat Michigan. No one holds the tie. That is, I honestly hope that happens. I really hope that scenario happens. That would be insane.
I always root for chaos.
This is it.
For whatever reason, I just love it. I want chaos, but also being, soon to be Texas grad, Texas fan, lifelong, sitting at 7. Chaos is amazing for the Longhorns, assuming that
they went out.
We take care of business against TCU, Iowa State, and Tech, which they absolutely should. But,
it's Texas.
It's Texas, but also, I don't know. I think we're finally past the Texas of old that loses games they're not supposed to. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But Uh, yeah, we like that a lot. There's also a lot going that could go on this weekend. A lot could go wrong. Georgia plays a very good Ole Miss.
Yep.
I would definitely be looking out for the upset in that one. Ohio State. Who does Ohio State play?
Ohio State, I think, no, they play Michigan State, but it's at home. I think that's a win.
Yeah.
That might be a blowout.
Michigan State has the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever this weekend.
To help out Michigan, that would be cursed. Ohio State won't have a chance at losing another game until Michigan probably. But Alabama plays Kentucky in Lexington. That's going to be a tough one. Even though Kentucky's mid, they still gotta go all blue over there. So Miami and Florida State. This is one of the games I think Florida State's going to lose. This one or Florida. This is it. This Florida State season.
You really think that Florida State's out?
I genuinely think so. Now, of course, if they win out and they win the championship game, they're going to be ranked 1 or 2. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I think it's either Miami or Florida they're losing to, and then they got to play Louisville in the championship game. So
that's not going to be easy.
That's not easy. Not at all. So we'll see where that one goes. So Miami this week, Florida State's favored by 14. I like Miami. Do I think they'll win? I don't know. And then lastly, number 5, Washington, which is a big wall in the way for Texas. It's got to play Utah. And Utah is known for knocking off top 10 teams when they're not in contention for a playoff spot. So
I would not be surprised to see the Utes pull that one out.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would really love to see, he's out for the year, but Cam Rising would have been amazing to see go against this Washington team. Of course, then again, if Cam Rising was playing, I think Utah would be undefeated.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so that's national title game right there for Washington. There's a lot of games this week that are, well, obviously at this point they're all must wins, but these are ones that you can't screw up because they're against good teams. And I mean, Oregon plays USC, and I know USC's been sucking really bad recently, but you can never count out USC's offense. USC's offense will keep them in any game, even when their defense gives up 50 points. So I think
and now we'll see what happens with that defense without Alex Grinch there.
That's true. Now they get a different type of style, different play style. We'll see. So this week is going to be chaos. I promise you. It's going to be a great week for college football. And really, this is where probably the Heisman race really starts heating up with Penix Jr. Obviously, Caleb Williams is out, but even Carson Beck's still in this. Ironically enough, Jordan Travis, if he has a good game, that could cement his Heisman spot. Shoot, I wouldn't even count out. You give Jonathan Brooks a 250-yard game against TCU, and he's right up there too. And that's a hot take.
Yeah,
but
that is a hot take.
One of, if not the best running back in the country. Texas just continues to pump out running backs left and right. So
yeah, and for Jonathan Brooks, the stats are there. He passes the eye test, and he's on an 8-1 team that's probably, hopefully, going to make some noise come into season. So we're sitting here talking about Jonathan Brooks' Heisman odds, which he won't win, but it's still fun and exciting, and I love it.
Yeah, might as well. Doesn't hurt anyone. So, with that being said, anything else you would like to add on the college football discussion?
Free James Madison, first of all. First order of business. Free them. They deserve to go bowling. They're 9-0. They look good against the shitbox teams that they play. And so let them go play a better team in a bowl game and then remind us all of why they're where they're at. But it's fun. It's fun. It should be fun. And of course they should be allowed to play. It's a rule that doesn't make sense and it needs to be appealed.
Yeah, because why would you forbid a team entering from a weaker subdivision to a stronger one, playing better teams? Why would you prevent them if they do well the first 2 years? I think it's one of the dumbest things.
Yeah,
it's one of the stupidest rules ever. Sense. They did apply. They sent a request to be admitted to a bowl game, So I think there's enough backing, there's enough public support behind him. It'll probably get pushed through, and then the NCAA, hopefully speaking, they will look at this rule and probably change it. Now, it is the NCAA, and I've seen a lot of stupid crap pulled off in the last even 5 years. The NCAA has allowed or not allowed, so we'll see. But yeah, go James Madison. We're all rooting for y'all. Besides that, James Madison's my only Group 5 team that I like watching right now. I don't think there's anyone else that's even Liberty. Liberty's undefeated, I think. Good for them. That's a fun school, I heard. Big party school out there in the Carolinas, I think. Something like that. It's in Virginia. See, I don't care. Anyways, let's talk about
Lynchburg.
Really? I didn't know that. All right. Sorry, Liberty fans, if there's no one from Liberty watching this. Anyways, let's move on.
They're all in church.
Yeah, or chapel. Like I have to do. But I'm going to be put on chapel probation. Yay. Go Christian college.
Good for you, man.
No.
Good for you.
Nope. Anyways, speaking of probation, let's talk about Martavis Bryant and the Dallas Cowboys. Do you think that's a good move? I don't know. It's tough to tell.
I mean, he's never going to play for them, but it's a headline. And that sucks. He was so good.
He was
really good. And we got robbed from seeing him play. I mean, as a Patriots fan, I'm okay with it. But
yeah.
You hate to. It's the Josh Gordon type. It's the Justin Blackmon. Amazing, really talented, like top 5-10 receiver potentially. That his career gets derailed because of stupid off the field decisions, and that sucks.
Yeah. So I mean, I like where the Cowboys are. I like the Cowboys' vision. I don't think it's going to come to fruition though. I mean, if it did work out, him being a second option behind CD would be pretty nuts if he turned out to be the player that he used to be. But he's, 30 now?
Yeah.
So
he's 30-something.
Time,
he's like 30 or 30.
Time is running out or already has run out on his body. We've seen OBJ, what he looks like now, who just got his first touchdown reception this past weekend on his birthday. So congrats, OBJ.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Rams legend. All right, Rams legend.
Ah.
So, and speaking of the Ravens, they're the best team in football right now. I mean, and the Seahawks are not a bad team, and they just humiliated them. And they've really humiliated almost every team they've played. Besides, they started rough off the beginning of the season. That happens. Mm-hmm. But their last, I mean, they beat the Lions 38-6. They escaped the Cardinals, but the Cardinals had Dobbs, and Dobbs is honestly a pretty damn good quarterback from what we've seen. And then, which we'll talk about Dobbs in a minute. And then Seahawks, of course, 37-3. And they beat the Browns 28-3. And the Browns have the best defense and one of the best defenses ever. And so the fact they're able to do this to really good teams is for me, it's shocking because I was not expecting this. I don't know. What are your thoughts about the Ravens?
No, they look really good. They look like the most complete team, to be sure, in the league. They're winning. They're winning convincingly. I don't know. It's Lamar Jackson, and it's John Harbaugh. So, take it with a grain of salt if they're going to make noise in the playoffs or not. But as of now, yeah, they're the best team. They're clear cut. They're regular season champions, probably. If we want to call it that. I want to wait and see with them though, because it's still the Rams. I have trust issues with the Rams and making takes about the Rams, or not the Rams. The Ravens.
I was like, we're not in this.
Yeah, I was reading your shirt. There it is. Yeah. So Rams though made a move.
Yeah, Carson Wentz. That's about it.
That get you excited?
Nope.
That get you out of that twin XL behind you?
I think it is a twin XL. I think so. You know me so well. No, Carson Wentz does not excite me. But you know what? He's on a team now, so good for him. He deserves to be on a team. Smart QB, just unlucky, really, with injuries throughout his career. I want to go back to the Ravens real quick. I wanted to bring up, I mean, they have playing the best ball in the best division. Every team in their division is 5-3, except them, of course, 7-2. So the fact that they're doing this, they got the Browns next week, or this weekend. Sorry, it's already Wednesday/Thursday when this gets uploaded, and then Bengals, Chargers. Don't count out the Rams. I know they suck, but don't count them out. They got the Jags, Niners, Dolphins. They have the toughest remaining schedule out of anyone in football.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what they're made of. This is where we'll know if they're legit or they're just fakers. So Lamar Jackson looks good, as always, in the regular season. Gus Edwards is solid. Mark Andrews, of course, consistent. Good team. Top 5 in pretty much everything. So, yeah, I'm actually excited to watch Ravens football, believe it or not. Isn't that crazy?
There you go.
Speaking of good quarterbacks, of course, we're going to talk about Josh Dobbs, but how about the rookie of the year down in good old Houston, Texas?
Yeah. He's the real deal. That team is the definition of mid, and he's carrying them as a rookie. He's thrown 1 career interception. And if you like this, I thought this was fun when I read it. He has the same touchdown to interception ratio as Tom Brady did.
There we go.
14-1.
Here we go with the comparison. Is CJ Stroud Tom Brady, guys?
Reincarnated.
I think Tom Brady was in a better situation when he first came onto the scene, personally speaking.
Yeah. I mean, that team, he inherited a team from Drew Bledsoe that was built to make a playoff run. That probably would have still made a playoff run with Bledsoe, because Bledsoe was a good quarterback.
Yeah,
he's getting in on the ground floor of this Texans team. That quarterback room is perfect for him in terms of support, mentorship. I'm really all in on Case Keenum being that quarterback guru for him. D'Amico Ryans, I like a lot as a head coach. That defense looks pretty good, and I think that they're starting to have some exciting pieces on offense for him. I think it's going to be a great situation. I think it's going to work out well. I'm even willing to say it's probably going to work out better than the Deshaun Watson situation, which, that was really good for a while.
Yeah, it was. It's true. And Houston hasn't won very many things, but they definitely won that trade, sending Watson off, I believe, right? Yeah. That was a little bit ago. But yeah, and then they got good pieces in Damian Pierce and Nico Collins. I mean, this is a solid team. And
Tank Dell,
I think
fantasy legend.
Yeah, Tank Dell, who you picked up, I think, right? Did I see someone picked him up? I don't know who it was, but anyways, this is a playoff team with CJ Stroud if he stays healthy. I'm telling, they're 4-4 right now. Their schedule, they're gonna lose this week, but they got Cardinals, Jags at home. That could be a win. Broncos, Jets, Titans, Browns, Titans. This is a playoff team. They're a wild card. They're not gonna go. They're gonna play one playoff game, which is perfect for Stroud as a rookie. And it's really hopeful for the future. And yeah, it's actually, you should be, if you're a Texans fan, all 10 of you, y'all should be excited. Something good's finally happening. We'll see. And like you said, good head coach finally. That hasn't happened.
Mac Jones won a playoff game. No, didn't win. He played in a playoff game.
Anyways, no one cares about Mac Jones. He might be the most overrated quarterback in football.
I care about Mac Jones.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Anyways, and then let's see. I'm looking at the slate. Some games that pop up. Patriots abysmal. Rams a tough watch to a really bad Packers team. Yeah, go ahead.
Everyone listening, go watch the Patriots game Sunday morning. You're not doing anything else, because it will be the final game coached by Bill Belichick as head coach of the New England Patriots.
Really? You think he's done?
They're going to get home. They're going to get home after Gardner Minshew throws for 400 yards. and they're just going to go up to him and say, Bill, go ahead and clean out your office. So Go ahead and clean out your office. Gerard Mayo, get in there, bud. Grab your whistle. Go on.
That might
And
be the
then,
hottest take I've ever
then we'll
heard.
see.
That
Then we'll see what happens.
That's equivalent to the Spurs firing Popovich. That's crazy. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he'll...
Just watch.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it here first. Bill Belichick will not be the coach of the New England Patriots by Monday morning. And Monday's the 13th. So Monday the 13th, he will not be the head coach.
A disgruntled Patriots fan is talking. Listen and learn.
Yeah, let him cook. And cook he will. One more thing about last weekend. The Chiefs are back. They looked really good against a good Dolphins team. Their defense was really... Well, they looked good in the first half, and then I guess Patrick Mahomes forgot he was playing football. But, you know, it happens. Just look at...
Yeah.
I mean, that happens all the time. So, Patriots. You got Patriots on my mind. The Chiefs...
I know.
The Chiefs looked good. The Eagles... Them and the Ravens, two best team in baseball. Gosh. I'm all rattled now. In football, two best teams in football, the Birds. The Bird teams are flying high, except for the Cardinals in both sports. There you go. All right. Week 10 slate. I'm going to rattle off a few games. You're going to tell me the winners with no further explanation, okay? You ready? Colts and Patriots.
Colts.
Browns, Ravens.
Ravens. Jets
and Raiders, primetime.
Jets.
Isn't that a miserable game? And primetime? That's
tough.
terrible. Niners, Jaguars.
Jags.
Really? All right. And then lastly, Lions at the Chargers.
Lions.
All right, cool. I am going to ask you, I do want explanation on your 49ers Jaguars pick.
I think the Jags are hot and the Niners are not hot. I think the Niners are a much better team. Or not much better, but they're a better team. More talented, definitely favored to do more than the Jags this season. But I like the Jags right now. Trevor Lawrence is playing very well. That Jaguars defense looks good. And the Jaguars, I just like them as a team. They seem a lot more complete right now. They have a better quarterback. And I just feel like it's something weird that could happen. Momentum is a hell of a thing.
Yeah. That's not bad. I kind of like your explanation. So I'm going to hop on the Jags train with you. So, and then lastly,
Yeah,
I mentioned we were going to talk about this. Joshua Dobbs, the Vikings.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fantasy owner right here.
Yeah, there you go. They play the Saints this week. You got the Vikings?
I do have the Vikings, actually. Dobbs, 3 days into the system, he's so smart. He was an aerospace engineer in college, by the way.
Yeah.
And I think that really shows. He's a very smart kid. He's very talented. And he's finally getting a shot and in a situation where he can make some noise. He was starting in Arizona and playing pretty well for a shit team. And now he's in a winning situation. Obviously it's very difficult to go off of 1 week, but hey, that's kind of our job to overreact after seeing 1 week of something. So I'm going to overreact. Give me the Vikings. Dobbs is a good quarterback, and I'm probably going to start him this weekend.
Well, you made the wrong choice starting Minshew last weekend, so yeah, this would be a good.
Well, I didn't know he was. Dobbs wasn't even supposed to play, though, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true. And then now, poor, who's Minnesota's backup originally? Forgot his name. Poor guy. He was like, all right, cool, I'm going to be starting the rest of the season. Injured. Boom. Instant backup again to the third string. Feels bad. But yeah, and you mentioned Dobbs is an aerospace engineer. I mean, can you imagine the workload he had every day? Workouts, football, class, homework. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, it takes a stud to do that. So we're huge Josh Dobbs fans over here. At Thank You Bro Pod.
And if he leads the Vikings to the playoffs, Will said he's gonna buy a Josh Dobbs jersey.
It's not at all what I said.
So be on the lookout for that.
You're just volunteering me. I'll do a custom Rams one that says Dobbs on the back.
God.
That would be good. Dobbs 15 in a Rams jersey, which I'm pretty sure is retired. But anyways, that would be cursed. Speaking of, because you had mentioned overreactions, is Victor Wembanyama the second coming of LeBron James and Michael Jordan and Kevin Durant combined?
I think he's proven that he's a generational talent, and he's still very young and inexperienced. But yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, I mean, 20 a game, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals. I mean, that's nuts. He's
a generational player.
He's a little inefficient, but when you're the number one option on a team and you're getting the number one guy as a rookie, I don't expect you to be too efficient. But yeah, him and Holmgren, that rookie of the year race with the Thompson brothers in third and fourth, in a close third and fourth. This rookie race is going to feed generations. I'm telling you.
It's awesome. You really love to see it. It's really, I think this is the most exciting rookie class we've had in a number of years, and it's awesome. I thought Scoot Henderson was going to be in the race. Not proving it so far. Yeah,
not so far, but you got to give him some time. I think he's going to step it up. He's still playing great defense. And what's really surprised me is how good this rookie class defensively. This is an elite defensive class. Like, both Thompson brothers are averaging 2 steals a game. Asur, I think, how do you say his name? I don't know. Asur, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, is also averaging 2 blocks a game as a 6'6" shooting guard. I mean, that's Michael Jordan type defense, which is crazy to say, but it's true. I mean, I haven't seen a shooting guard play that good defense since prime Kobe, prime D Wade.
Marcus Smart.
He's a point guard.
Do
you think he's a shooting guard?
But he always played shooting guard until a couple years ago. But
Tony Allen.
He's a natural point guard though.
Best defensive player since Tony Allen, Celtics legend, and Grizzlies legend. Look at that. Marcus Smart is following.
He is a Grizzlies legend.
Marcus Smart's following Tony Allen's path. Look at that. Good for him.
Yeah, except right now, Marcus Smart's the number one option in Memphis with everybody out.
And you know what happens when Marcus Smart's your number one option? You go 1-6 to start the season.
You go 1-6 to start the season. What a great trade by Brad Stevens. That was a good move.
Well,
getting rid of Smart.
That move and the Robert Williams trade, because he's now out for at least 3 months. I mean,
and that's terrible.
Brad Stevens masterclass. Yeah, obviously thoughts go out to Robert Williams. We never want to see injury, but this is just absolute general managing masterclass from Brad Stevens. He's proven that he's still the best mind in basketball. And I mean, it's not too early to say this because I think it's going to happen. And I know you don't want to hear this from me because I curse everything. The Celtics are winning the finals. Okay. And I know, that look on your face, you're not too happy. This is one of the better teams I've seen since the 2018 Warriors, really. Everything's clicking. Their 2 stars are hitting their peaks of their prime right now. The guy they traded for, Porzingis, is playing well above expectations. I mean, they're top 5 defensive team, top 5 offensive team. Their coaching staff's amazing. Their front office is amazing. I mean, there's literally nothing wrong with this team. They got perfect size. They got speed. They got endurance. I like I said, I haven't seen it since the 2018 Warriors, where they check off every single box. I mean, this is the Celtics league to lose.
Well, I know you like perfect size, but this team does look like one of those teams that you can call a champion very early into the year and probably be right. It just feels like one of those too big to fail situations. Of course, we'll see what happens. There is a man named Nikola Jokic, but I would say with complete confidence right now that the Celtics will see probably the Nuggets in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the most logical, unless the Lakers can find a way to somehow get another piece with with products they don't have. I know they're targeting Alex Caruso. That would be good for the Lakers. But Anthony Davis needs to stop playing like he has no idea what he's doing out there. And you can't keep letting LeBron play 38 minutes a game. And you saw the stats.
You need to save him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saw those stats. He was when the Lakers are playing, he's plus 45 when he's on the court, and the Lakers are minus 70 when he's off. That can't happen.
That's crazy.
For a 30,
That's crazy.
You cannot rely that much on a 38-year-old. I know he's arguably the greatest player that ever exists in his 38, 39 season, but that cannot happen. And it really starts to fall on Darvin Ham. Like, at what point do we stop playing players? I know AD is not playing well, or not playing up to what he should be playing. But when does struggles like this fall on the head coach?
Well, that's the main issue with LeBron is that you can't. Can you name a time that he's had an incredible head coach? No, because they always butt heads. It's LeBron's team. It's LeBron's way or the highway.
Well,
and that's kind of the issue, and that works when LeBron is younger and can play 40 minutes a night every night of the season.
Yeah,
but he can't do that anymore. And so now when he's resting, I don't think Darvin Ham's a good coach. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, the last good coach the only good coach LeBron's ever had was Eric Spoelstra. And obviously we saw...
Frank Vogel.
Yeah, I don't know why the Lakers got rid of it. I mean...
because they were butting heads.
I just don't see that, though. I know LeBron is... You might as well just hire LeBron as the coach, too. Honestly. I mean, he's one of the greatest basketball minds we've ever seen. Just let him coach, really. When was the last time? Was Bill Russell was a player coach, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, so there you go. Let's just Bill Russell this thing. Let's thug it out, Los Angeles. Let's go.
There you go.
So, but yeah, Lakers middle of the road right now. They need to figure it out. A team that's surprising in a good way, for me at least, are the Mavericks and the Timberwolves. But I want to talk about the Mavericks because the Mavericks, I didn't think their offseason was that good, but Grant Williams has really turned out to be the piece they needed. Really, that's just something that the Mavs needed to complement Kyrie and Doncic. Yeah. So,
I mean, he's a great role player. He doesn't need the ball. He plays good defense. He's a pretty decent passer, and he's just a guy that kind of can space the floor and just take care of a lot of the little things. And that's something that the Mavs just didn't have.
Yeah, exactly. And then they got, of course, Lively, who's been a great surprise for the Mavericks. And of course, I'm trying to think who's playing really. Tim Hardaway Jr. is playing pretty well as well. So really balanced team. They don't have too much size though, which might be a concern later on when you got to play teams like the Nuggets in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But the Warriors don't have size either, and they're playing well, which actually shocked me too. I didn't think this was going to work, but of course, when you pair a top 5 pure point guard with the greatest shooting point guard ever, I mean, there's really not much else you can get besides success. But yeah, it's NBA's fun. A lot of parity this year. My Spurs are still very bad, but
you know
it's
what?
fun to watch.
Unlike last year, you have something to watch.
Yeah.
Last year had to have sucked.
Last year was bad.
Did you even want to tune into the games?
Oh yeah.
There was nothing. Yeah, but okay, you turn on a game, or it's like, oh, the Spurs are playing tonight. What were you excited about, to be honest?
Yeah, you're right. The cool jerseys, the court.
Yeah, but now it's like, oh, Wemby's gonna do something crazy.
Let's see if he drops 40.
We might win.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, so there's things to look out for. Even with Wemby, this is how bad the Spurs are. Even with Wemby on the court, the Spurs are by far the worst defensive team in basketball, which is a huge issue that Pop needs to address. I don't know if it's got to be someone that you got to draft next year, but this defense is a huge problem. And they just gave up 150 plus to the Pacers. Now, I watched that game, and for those who didn't watch that game, it was an absolute onslaught. The Pacers would not miss. But that still doesn't excuse the fact that the Spurs were just giving them wide open looks. So I don't know. Yeah. Pop used to be such a great defensive coach. I don't know if it's the players, if it's him. I don't know. I don't know enough of the game to really identify that.
I like to think I'm a pretty good basketball mind. I watch a lot, and I kind of understand the sport on a deeper level than most people. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, it's Zach Collins.
You think Zach Collins is the sole problem for the defense? So what's the solution?
It's the entire team. Fire him.
Fire Zach Collins?
Zach Collins contract extension.
Yeah, you make sure you remind me of that every single day. I get that picture every day.
No, he's just so bad, and I hate him. I hate his confidence. I really don't like that. I don't like it. He plays like complete crap, and then acts like he's God and should be starting over Wemby. It's infuriating.
I hate his confidence is a quote I need to put on a. I'm gonna Photoshop that in somehow. I hate his confidence. That's funny. Yeah. So okay, Zach Collins needs to go, but he's not going to. And I think maybe that's Pop's secret tank weapon to get another. I mean, the Spurs are looking at another top 4 or 5 pick, so let it happen. Except this year we get a little we get to have fun while watching us lose. So we'll see.
That's what it's all about.
I think the Spurs are about a year or two behind what the Thunder are doing right now. The Thunder are an exciting team. The Thunder rebuilt the right way. Of course, they got Chet, but they also have the difference between the Spurs and the Thunder is that the Thunder have SGA, and ultimately, when you get a guy who averages 30 plus a game, I mean, there's your difference maker right there.
And they have Jalen Williams squared.
True, and Lou Dort, who might be, well, maybe not anymore, but who was the best defender in basketball.
I've always liked Lou Dort.
Yeah, and he's a pure 3-and-D type player. So, like I said, Thunder did it the right way. Good for them. What was I gonna? Oh yeah, I was just looking at playoff projections already. So guess who has the? I'm sorry, I read that wrong. I was gonna say guess who has the 4th highest. They actually have the 6th highest chance to win the title is the Timberwolves. Ironically enough, that team is not going far with Karl Anthony Towns. No. But ironic, funny to look at. Celtics number 1, 19%. But this gives the Celtics, ESPN gives the Celtics a 100% chance to make the playoffs this year.
Duh.
But you got to account for injuries still. I mean, if worst
Why would you say that?
I'm just saying, because life is life. If worst came to worst, I think 100% is just absurd. But
well, I mean, I don't know. I think that the Celtics, obviously they're not going to be necessarily title favorites if someone goes down with an injury, God forbid. But this team is so crazy. Like, let's say Jaylen Brown got hurt. You still have Tatum, Drew Holiday, Porzingis, Derek White, and company. And then, Tatum would be detrimental. But then without Tatum, you still have Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis.
That's fair. Al Horford, Celtics legend.
Al Horford.
Yeah, I guess that's
Peyton Pritchard, if you're into that.
Yeah, I guess they're the only team. I think the Celtics are probably the only team besides. I think the Clippers would get better if one of their stars were to be out for a certain period of time, mainly James Harden.
For whatever reason.
But I think the Celtics are probably the only team that would still be fine if they lost one of their big stars. But still though, 100% is crazy.
Yeah.
This early in the year. But anyways, so we'll see.
I like it.
Celtics Phillies tonight. That's the 1 and 2 seed playing against each other. That'll be an exciting game. Wemby goes to the Garden. That's always.
What does he think about the Garden? What does he think about its size?
Well, he says it's not as big as he expected. In which, fellas, I know that hurts to hear, as everyone's heard it. But cheer up. It's just Wemby's just talking about the Garden, okay? But yeah, it's every NBA player's welcome to the league moment. Curry had his in the Garden a long time ago. So Wemby's gonna drop 40 tonight, okay? 40 points. He's gonna nail 8 3-pointers, have 6 blocks. Book it now. All right. The most insane stat line ever is happening tonight, and we will be witness. We will all be witness, like we were to LeBron James.
Yeah.
There's really nothing. There's no exciting games on after that. Really, just the Celtics and Sixers and Spurs and Knicks. Yeah.
I'm into that. I'm going to be watching both of those. That'll be good.
Oh, the Warriors and Nuggets play tonight. We get to watch Jokic drop a 40, 20, and 10 game. So that'll be fun.
I heard Will Glover plays tonight.
Plays
on 2K24.
I'm playing 2K with you?
Oh, you are.
All right, cool.
Because after last night, we have to right the ship.
We have unfinished business for sure. So that concludes what we wanted to talk about today. But I have one more thing. Ryan, it's time for Ryan's rants, everyone. So everyone sit back, grab some popcorn, maybe a smoothie, something. I'm going to grab my smoothie right here. Ryan, go ahead and start us off.
All right, so I got something that bothers me today, this week, this month, and that is the Las Vegas Raiders organization. Let's go back a couple years. Why did you think that hiring Josh McDaniels would be a good move? Why did you rip him away from Mac Jones? Why did you do that? First of all, they were flourishing together, and you came in and you were a homewrecker. Plain and simple. You ruined that relationship. They could have been happily married by now with a Super Bowl title. But we don't know because you didn't let us have that. And then 2 years in, what you saw happen in Denver happened again to you. He lost the locker room. Players hate playing for him when he's the head guy. And and then it's just terrible. Why? And then on top of that, you have one of the best receivers in the league, in Davante Adams. He comes to your organization to probably enjoy Vegas and also hang out and catch footballs from his best friend Derek Carr. And then you send Derek Carr away for some reason and go get Jimmy Garoppolo, who is like kind of a downgrade, but ultimately a lateral move, and they're the same age and pretty much the same price tag. So that doesn't make sense either. And then your season's over. Davante doesn't want to be there anymore. You fire your coaching staff, you fire your general manager, but you don't trade him away, you don't do the right thing. So what are you playing for? You're not tanking. You're not going to try to get a good draft pick, but you're not going to win any games. You're just not. So as an organization, I'm not sure what you're doing. You already screwed over the entire team with Josh McDaniels. You screwed over your best player, Davante Adams. You're screwing over Max Crosby by completely wasting him. And we're not going to forget that you screwed over the city of Oakland. You were all they had. So, who do you think you are? Thank you.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, that was really in depth, and I love how it stemmed from really the Patriots background. How this all really, your hate for the Raiders started because McDaniels was taken from Mac Jones, and I think that's beautiful. That is,
yeah, and then he got year two. Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
You telling me that didn't set him back?
That set him back a generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. So, Ryan, thank you for your rant. Very
always happy
insightful as always. Looking forward to your next one. Maybe next week, who knows? So yeah. I guess do you have any final thoughts? I guess you already had your final word, but
Oh, I've had my final word, but I'm excited for this weekend. A lot of good sports coming up. I'm going to be watching basketball tonight. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Great weekend for sports, really for college football. This is the top 10 is going to look so different than it does now.
Mm-hmm.
Starting Saturday. So excited to watch that.
Yeah.
So I'll close this out because our time here is over. Up and over. So ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Thank You Bro podcast, presented to you by me and Ryan. No sponsor yet. We hope to get one soon. If you're listening, give us some money so we can promote you. Thoughts? Who knows? Anyways, but this is it's been fun, and we appreciate the support as always. And with that being said, we will see y'all sometime soon. Y'all take care.